Okay, welcome everyone in the new video, and today we meet together again after 2 months of the previous season. We finally go back to the Rainbow Six Siege official page, and here we have the new Operation Vector Glare, which we'll go over today, because there are some changes that are important. So let's deep dive into it. First, they finally officially came back to the word operation, as it was missing for the previous half of the year, like 3/4 of a year or so, where they stopped calling the seasons operation. But finally they came back, and this is with how they want to direct the narration before with the previous game, the lead game designer, uh, they had this kind of like Olympic narrative where all of the operators would train for the whole year, then they would get split up into teams and they would have like this kind of sorts of Olympics. But they changed it. The narrative with of course the new lead game designer, or rather game director, and there they go. They went back to its roots and they went for this kind of military narrative where the whole Team Rainbow got split up into different teams, with the first being, as you can see, Wolfguard. Actually, this is the second one. The first one is the private military contractor, or PMC for short, company, which is directed by the in-game operator called Kali. And there is sort of conflict between the Rainbow's Six team and the Night Haven team, which is directed by the Kali. So they changed this narrative. They came back to the operation finally, and let's move on. First new thing is of course the new operator. Since they are a new operator from Belgium, they are a 3 health, 1 speed operator with a new gun, actually, with the POF9. I've tested this gun on the test server and I was kind of surprised, since this is a 9mm gun and it had quite a high recoil. It had quite a kick to it, so this is why I was surprised. 417, which is a known DMR from Twitch and Lion. Then for the secondary weapons we have the Mozzi's SDP 9mm and the Gun 6. As for the gadgets, it's like Breach, Charge, and Claymore. The main focus that the developers wanted to go with this attacker is for it to be a full-on sport. That's why his main gadget is a ROU projector. That's how they called it. And its job is to cut off lines of sight. So how it works is that you take out the gadget and you throw it onto the ground. It starts rolling, bouncing from any walls that it might take in its path, and display a holographic wall through which you can normally walk through, and you can normally shoot through it, but it's opaque, so you won't be able to see through it unless you're looking through a I'm pretty sure that Glass's lens can see through it. Warden's glasses can see through it when you're on the fence. And also on the fence, the main counter will be the bulletproof gadgets and Maestro cameras, as they can see through it. But as you are just an operator, just walking around and you see this gadget, you won't be able to see through it, which is a very, very helpful tool for the attackers, because this game basically resolves on holding angles and denying control over the area. So this will definitely be used by the professional teams, actually starting this season, because with this season, they will talk about it later, I'm sure. On this page, of course, the description to it will be in the link of this video. Is that they're finally, for me it's a very weird decision, very brave one, I mean, that they're taking off the quarantine of the operators, because how it worked from year 3 season 2 Operation Parabellum until now is that new operators would be put into a quarantine period of 3 months, so the whole season, during which they are disabled from the professional play. So in all professional tournaments, in Faceit tournaments, this operator would be disabled and you won't be able to peek it. But starting with this season, they're reverting this change, and to make sure that the best team is the one that can adapt to the new meta faster. So we will see this operator in the pro play with the start of stage 2, which will begin after this season starts. It will come on 14th of June. So as I'm recording, and I'll probably edit this and deliver the video on the same date as I'm recording, which is the 13th. So the operation Vector Glare will launch tomorrow. And so we will see this operator in the pro play instantly, which is, I think, a good change, but it's a very brave one, because the whole reason behind the quarantine change was the operator from year 3 season 1 Lion, who, well, you can't deny it, he was basically broken. And if you mention it around all the Rainbow Six Siege players like me, you'll trigger a PTSD reaction. You'll just trigger flashbacks from those very, very dark times. But moving on, we have a new map, but it's only for the team deathmatch. So, kind of yay, kind of not. I mean, some people that enjoy the team deathmatch, they will probably be happy with it. I personally don't play team deathmatch at all, so I'm not really affected by this change at all. But they're trying to keep the game fresh, so I see why they did it. Especially that all of the maps in the TDM map pool right now are designed for the competitive play instead of like a team deathmatch, so they were not necessarily the best fit for the job. And this map is, since they didn't have to design it with competitive in mind, they had more of freedom in designing this map, so they just went all out and designed a really nice TDM map. Next up, one thing that was like the community asked for a very, 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 very long time is the shooting range. We'll finally have it, and there will be like a couple lanes. One with the target, as you can see, which you will be able to move like closer, bit more forward, and test your gun's recoil with different attachments. You will be able to use the attacker repick, and you'll be able to choose from both sides, from both attackers and both defenders. You'll be able to choose any operator and just put a gun that they have to test. You will be able to change the different attachments, so we can see how one gun works with a certain set of attachments. Then you can swap out some attachments and see how you like it. You will first have this target, as you can see. Then there will be a target with a operator like contour written on it. Then another lane will be just a player model. And you will be able to change its stance, how it's directed. So it's actually a really, really nice change. Another thing which is very, very, very helpful for the new players are the operator guides. I was talking about it earlier in the previous video about changes coming to the year 7, and those are the operator guides. So when you will enter the game and choose an operator, you will be able to like in the menu of pause, you'll have this kind of menu which will show you like short GIFs that show you how you can use your gadget. So all of this will be very, very helpful for the new players, because as for now, they just jump right into the game and they're like, okay, but how am I supposed to do everything? Like, it's very hard for a new player to get into the game and stay with it, learn, and get basically hooked on it, get addicted to it. So they added those operator guides, which are very clear to read. I've seen them myself, and they're really, really prepared well, which is very weird for Ubisoft. And they will just smoothen up the learning curve, making it much, much easier to start within this game. This menu you see over on this side is inside the operators menu, so you'll be able to access it both in-game mid-round and when you're just wandering around in the menu, you bought a new operator and you want to see how he works, then you'll be able to check it out. Another thing is privacy mode. They're finally releasing it for everyone. So you will be able to just temporarily change your name that will be seen on screen within the leaderboards. So this is just to help smaller streamers or even bigger ones to protect their identity and protect themselves from stream snipers, as it is a very big problem, because certain people just try to join famous streamers' game and either troll them and just ruin it for them, or just try to be annoying. And this is why they are adding this tool. You'll be also able to hide your avatar. I'm not sure why, but okay. Up here I see you, which is like when you're in game, and you'll open up your leaderboard, or on the top right hand corner where it shows who eliminated who from the round. Instead of appearing your nickname, it will just say you. And you will be able to also hide other player usernames. So again, you're on stream, you're opening up a leaderboard, and you have no fear of like giving the confirmation for the stream snipers that they are in the right game. They will of course see it after like a round or two when they see how everybody plays, but it will definitely repel some of them. They are adding also reputation penalty, which is the first iteration of the new reputation system they will try to implement by the end of this year. And as I previously mentioned, it's already working in the background. And as you can see, as the repeat offenders' actions bring them closer to the penalty, they will receive a set of warnings first, notifying them how are they seen by the system and asking to modify their playstyle. So we will just, if you have too many accidents of friendly fire, you will be given first a warning that, hey buddy, you're doing it too much, you should stop, or otherwise you will get penalized. If the player persists with the disruptive behavior, so if they continue to do that, the penalty will be applied. So for example, they will be they'll have a permanent reverse friendly fire, so they won't be able to shoot their own teammates. They will instead damage themselves for a number of matches. And if you try to do those, if you try to shoot your own teammates again, it will extend the penalty. I think they, I'm not sure about it, but I think that at a certain point it will be turned on permanent if your reputation score is very low, but don't take my word for it. And as they say, this feature will be shipped later during Season 2, so I'm guessing with like mid-season balancing, or maybe with the patch 2.3, they will deliver it. Another thing, which is also a pretty big talking point, is the screen shake intensity, which is mentioned right here. Can This is the biggest, one of the biggest talking points of this whole patch. Players can now turn off the intensity of screen shake feedback. Basically, I'll show a video clip right here. As you can see, right now, there is no screen shake at all when there is a explosion close by. Like as how it works now, there is just like there's an explosion and your whole screen shakes and this disrupts your aiming. Now you will be able to completely turn it off, which is, I don't know, like they've been this is what the community asked for, to reduce the intensity of the screen shake because it was still very disruptive. They turned it down and it was very disruptive. So the community kept asking, can we please reduce it or even have the option to turn it off because this is very disruptive, it messes with our aim, and it just hard. So they decided, okay, fine, you will be able to reduce it, you will be able to turn it off. And I'm pretty sure that 99% of the community will play with it turned off because yeah, as you can see, again, I'll roll the clip, there is no effect on aiming at all. Another thing they're bringing is updates to the match cancellation system. So that's very good. And other things, Esports Changes. This is the thing I was talking about when talking about Sense. Is that new operators are now allowed in esports competition in the same region as they're released, so they're taking off the quarantine period, or as they called it, the grace period. So that is a very good change. Another thing that will improve Faceit tournaments and like tournaments that you do with your friends or just custom games is that now you have the option to call for a tactical timeout within custom matches. So this is a very cool change. Of course, as every season, operator price reduction, Nook and Warden will be dropping to 10,000 Renown or 240 or 6 credits, Melusi and Ace 15,000, and last year's operator, which is Thunderbird, will now cost 20,000. Seasonal weapon skin, if anyone is interested in those, then this is how the new seasonal weapon skin looks. I'm not really a fan of it, but if someone likes it, then sure. Another important thing is the operator balancing as usual. First, we have Glass, which has been changed from 2 armor 2 speed to 1 armor 3 speed. So now instead of having 110 health, they will have 100 and they will be faster. So that's interesting, especially that they also given them the bearing 9 for some reason. Same for Tachanka, they given him bearing 9. I think they want to up the pick rate of those operators by giving them those guns. Is it a good change? I'm not sure. Especially for Tachanka. I mean, he does have a very slow firing weapon as his main gun. But is it a good idea to give him the bearing 9? I'm not sure. Well, we'll see during the next season. Another secondary weapon options they've given is they given back Kali her pistol, they give Clash her pistol, although I'm not sure why in both of these circumstances you would want to use anything else than the SMG. Lion P9, I can see that. Duque BC75, if you have troubles using the SMG 13, if I'm correct. SMG 13, I think, wait, SMG, no, sorry, SMG 12, then you'll be able to use the C75 auto, although on the KB I think there is the gun 6, so I'm using that, same with Lion. On Fenka you can get the GSH 18, again I'm not sure why anyone would use that pistol, but if anyone likes it then they'll be free to have it. Gridlock SDP 9mm, again I'm think, if I'm correct, Gridlock has a super shoddy, which brings slightly more utility. I don't know why somebody would use that, but again, if someone wants to use it, then they're free to do it. Amara is getting her shotgun back, so that will definitely prove very helpful, since she will be able to carry her main gun, and then the ETA-12S for all of her soft openings. I think right now she has SMG-11 and a gun 6, so I'm not sure about that. It can be still used. For example, if somebody wants to open hatches, then the shotgun will be more useful than a gun 6, because gun 6 only works once. It has only one ammunition. And this will have more, around 50 if I'm correct. 50 or 40 ammunition. Then later there are the tweaks and improvements for the replay system on console. It has been improved. Dedicated space has been allocated for them. Gridlocks tracks stingers. They have changed the colors, so just a minor visual update. Additional information about the spectated player are now displayed, so when you're in the spectator mode, then you'll be able to see some additional information. Operator tips, right now they are displayed in-game only for Ash, Sledge, Termite, also Bandit, Smoke, Capcan, and Torn. I'm assuming they'll keep adding that in the future updates. Game health, this is another big talking point, which is updated the crouch walk sound mix. So for now, because the season hasn't started yet, the volume of that is very silent. So you can basically crouch and walk, and I think that you'll be able to hear that person once they're like in a 2.5 meter range, so definitely when it's already too late. Uh, and now you'll be able to hear them from a much further distance, so it will be harder to for them to sneak up on you. So this was another big talking point, and this is actually a good change. I mean, it works both ways, so the attackers will be able to hear roaming defenders faster, but also attackers won't be able to as easily sneak into the site if they try to, because they will be heard from a much further distance. But this is definitely a nice change, because this is what the community was complaining for a very long time. Then there are the bug fixes, so I could go over that, but I don't think there is anything interesting. Yeah, there is. I can see that there is this one, which was a problem. Various Asami keybar barrier issues. Those were also a. This was also a very serious issue. Same with the Vigil's ERC7 activation. It could be heard from anywhere on the map when you were on the drone. So you just instantly knew, but it was also confusing because you heard it and you thought, okay, this guy's close, but he was, for example, on the complete other side of the building, so you were confused. So those were so those were the main issues, as well as attackers can fall off the roof by interrupting the rappel animation. But if you were smart, then of course there were certain situations where you started to rappel, you wanted to, for example, bait, or for example, you wanted to bait, or you noticed that they're trying to run out as you are rappelling, so you would cancel the animation, like go back on the roof, and instead of going back on the roof, you were just falling off and getting downed. Allow the issues in Emerald Plains map and various other maps, so I'm guessing that there were certain spots where you were not supposed to go in onto, and they fixed that. But then there are very minor things such as Nomad's airdrop launcher laser is not disabled when affected by an EMP. This is a minor change. So yeah, just some smaller and bigger, such as this one, and this one. So those problems are fixed. There are still that they need to work on. They are being discovered by the community all the time. So they'll have definitely a lot of work. But for now, this is all of the information that is important about the operation Vector Glare, and I'll see you in the next video.